Wow. And Yoworski, I hope I said that right. I'm pretty sure I did. Um, she gets it, everybody. She really does, and it's a beautiful thing when I run across those well articulated comments of someone who really gets it, who's a much better. Oh, there we go. Always got to move around. It's never good. Um, yeah, and Yoworski gets it and gets it good. Folks, Canadians and Americans are distinguishable by a clear political difference in political science, and that's the understanding of an up and a down scale, as well as the left and right scale. Canadians don't see that up and down scale. It's absent as a subject in a constitutional monarchy. I've seen it over and over and over again. I try to hammer it home as hard as humanly possible. It's one thing to have radical socialism, that left side of the spectrum. It's another thing to find yourself way up on the up scale, the up and down scale. Down scale being we the people, where powers. I don't know, folks. I think, you know what, it's really funny what I'm getting into proves a point in Canada, just on phone service, what we pay, how we're going down the toilet. And it's because we let a few in the upscale run everything, and they've run it right into the ground. Literally post-COVID now, with all the manufacturing numbers, they clearly far outpace the United States of America and Donald J. Trump first, second term. This goes back a ways. We see the end of Canada. You really do. Major economic experts are talking about that. That's what happens when you're a vastly spread out population in very limited land. You can't develop things properly because you're fully spread out in this great wall of Canada against the United States in some old imperial system with some shitty old constitution where you pledge allegiance to someone who's not even there. And then you have what are called autocrats way up here on this spectrum, with you in socialism over here, a square with 4 quadrants. Americans understand that. They know that no matter what, they have to stay down here in the lower quadrants. Canadians, you're way up here in the other quadrants. It's why you're so willing to get in bed with China, because heaven forbid you remove the autocracy and move from the top quadrants down into the bottom quadrants. Sure, you have left and right, sort of. You're mostly leftist. You see it all the time with conservatives. It's more like a touch of the right quadrant, but it's always up here in autocracy. So you're left to a little over center right, not really way into the right. Down here in America, they're already way different than you. Those people live in the bottom quadrants to begin with. Whether they're left or right, they never visit ideologies or social interests that put them in the upper quadrants, which means massive taxation, massive out of control government action, subjugation. These are huge things, but Canadians are completely blind to it. It's why Alberta isn't going to separate. They're not ready. They're not even close, because more than 65% of Albertans are fully capitulated to the upper quadrants, meaning separation can't happen until you get down here to at least a buffer zone halfway between being an American and being a subject Canadian. We the People society, where you accept responsibilities and accountability, or you move up into the I wait for permission from my government. My government knows better than me. My government knows how to raise my kids, and I'd even be willing to turn over my children to the government if they said they needed to control how my kids are raised. And we do that as Canadians. Americans, that would never happen. It's why they're armed, They've been this way even more than 150 years before the War of Independence. They were already working on ordinances in those British colonies, already getting literate in the bottom tier quadrants that Canadians don't even know exist. They live on a central plane of, well, that's left, that's right. You see it like we were in our X space. The Irish live that way. All the Europeans live that way, completely blind to the up and down spectrum of political science. It's defined out there. Even Oxford talks about it. But how many of those subjugated people actually understand it or were raised and educated in it? The answer is none, because the autocrats who have you up here will never let you go. You're a slave. Albertans are going to continue on in slavery. I'm not trying to be mean, but that's where they are. If there's any Canadians, and I'm still not 100%, but what looks really good for Quebec, if there's any Canadians, it's going to be the Francophone Quebecois who are going to make a major impact near Christmas this year. Fortunately, not Albertans. I showed you my video in Edmonton, Alberta, where I walked around sampling the downtown core of Edmonton. If you don't get a 50-50 out of any major city in Alberta, and it's actually 20-1 response, in person, in your face, with that British threat, that authority of the upper two quadrants. I did that on purpose. I played dress up, did the accent. You could see right away the fear, the subjugation took hold, and the response was 20-1. When I talk about statistics, Angus Reid is a lifetime progressive, conservative businessman. He's into polling at the human level, his understanding of the Canadian condition. He's a progressive conservative, businessman, entrepreneur, very successful in his 70s. Albertans or Canadians, he's a leftist. No, you're misunderstanding left for what quadrant people are in, which is left and right spectrum. And again, I understand the right spectrum, and very few tiptoe over extreme right, but it's all autocracy, all up here in autocracy, unrecognized. We saw that in the X space. The Irishman comes on, no different than Canadians. We gotta fight this group, the WEF, the bankers, the this, that. But he couldn't even acknowledge his autocratic government who passed all the laws and systems of oppression to bring and invite all those people in. Because those people don't work for you, the people. They work for themselves. That few in the upper echelon, in the top two quadrants, right or left. And Canadians can't see that. They are absolutely conditioned blind to that. Americans are not. Americans fully understand the quadrant system, and whether they're left or right, they will never allow their government to take them into the upper quadrants. That's the big difference. That's the major, overwhelming difference that Canadians need to understand. I know my loyal friends and followers do. And Yoworski, you really get it. You really understand economics. And what I presented the Canadians right over their head, that America, that's a satellite image I provided everybody, a nighttime view from space, from the International Space Station over North America. Those are real pictures lit up. It shows you how developed USA is and how pathetically developed your tiny little Great Wall of China really is, and your inability as Canadians in your current population to go anywhere beyond that. And yes, there's a design to keep you at that wall level, but regardless, Canadians in their population without extreme mass immigration that your autocrats want to have, it's unsustainable. They want the people to be subjugated. just like you, so they target the third world. Well, America and the merger of Canada-USA promises to undo all that in a record amount of time, because Americans overwhelm us nearly 9.5 to 1 in population. They would displace all Canadian mentality over time, and really quick concession of time. America's at a point, everybody, economically, this is proven, undeniable, as of the end of 2025, coming out in just the last 3 days. Stuff I love to read on, I love to see where we're at. Canada's manufacturing is going the way of the dodo. It's why all of these massive natural resource extraction protocols to try and bait China into coming on board with us to generate more low-level economic income for a country that's doomed. COVID did a number on us we're not going to recover from. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, like Anne said. We could do the Crown's way, where we don't have the health care, the infrastructure, never will, the housing, the food. We hit inflation because you got a debt load against everybody to bring newcomers on who aren't going to make it, right? And Canada's a failure. Or you can merge with USA in their system that's maxed right out, the human resource system based. 98.5% of their economy comes off of American citizen human resource, not resources. You merge Canada, which is all reliant on resources, epically with the continually deteriorating, proven over many decades manufacturing system, clearly outpaced by major economies. Your only hope is your best friend, most closest resembling you, the United States of America, who understands the geography, the politics, the people, and we all speak English and we all will get along. It's how you want to do that merger, denying reality, the economics of truth. America's at a point where Donald Trump's taken USA as far as he can. Has he slowed inflation? Sure. Is he going to be able to stop the advancements of AI, robotics, automation that's dominating America right now, where America has large capital into these things that displace American employment? And I mean, America isn't going down in employment right now. They have in a lot of sectors that are growing at unbelievable rates with less and less Americans needed and more Americans displaced. Trump's at a trouble point because sure, he can increase GDP, sure, he can lower inflation, but he's not able to make an impact on employment as these jobs disappear. How do you do that? Well, you put people in a situation where those things don't work out really well. Automation, robotics, and all of that. Harsher environments, and what? Resource extraction. That's where the human condition comes in, which Canada has horn of plenty. That's where the Americans will find their lowering unemployment rate. Trump sees all this. I really see it now with the results of all the economics, year-end Canada versus USA. Two polar opposites in the problems they face, completely polar opposites in population and landmass available, not freely to be utilized, but available. In the American system, that is available to everybody. And then with their capital and their more advanced, developed system fully maxed out, they get to once again expand out and put Americans into prosperity and do what they do best. And Canadians can get adopted into that, assimilated into that, and learn the difference in a really perfected capital infused system where it's there and capable of being done. Because it's not capable in Canada's system for Canadians now, and it never will be. You're never going to get that population naturally in time, whereas America already has it, is already maxed out. And if you haven't looked at that picture from space, look at the light show that is America. Look at your little weak Great Wall of China to Canada, And the reality is, look how much more habitable zone there is, how much further we could go together as almost 400 million people. It makes sense. Largest country in the world with a third of the population density that currently America, as the third largest country now, would be first with Canada's infusion. And Canada with such displacement but dense in such small amount of Canada available, let's unleash the rest of Canada. Let's get that done together, Americans and Canadians, solving both people's problems and learn to be one. That's unity. That's a real path forward. That stumps Russia, China, and really becomes the envy of the world. It makes absolute sense. Nobody condemns the European Union. Nobody condemns the South American Union under Mexico head. So why not join the United States Union, the first union, and best for the people, all people union? That's what makes sense to me. Economically, absolutely. Geopolitical and everything we face. It's why USA presents that. Trump and the Republicans can only go so far. America is maxed out. It's time to expand the borders, to grow with the times, and do what America does best. And that's frontier. Challenge the frontier. The spirit of development of the human condition, the evolution, the journey. It's time to join that. That's also an American Indian truth too. That's the core of those people. Always has been, always will be. So you can live on your knees, or you can die on your feet, or we can go forward walking on our feet together, hand in hand, to the glorious unknown and the golden age ahead of us. That's the truth. Anyways, that's my video. Lots of people, no, I'm staying in my top quadrant. I don't even know exists. Left to right. You can do that, but it's only to your detriment. You've always stayed the same while the world's been changing. Canadians, you're stuck that way because of your very corrupt system and constitution. You choose, but choose well, because you've got to. God bless everybody. That's my video. Share. Get it out there. Bye now.